Hi everyone, we have something really special today that you don't want to miss. We'll be answering the top trending questions in commercial real estate with our guest, the CEO of Newport Commercial Capital, TJ Coveyou. He'll also be giving his advice on how to maximize your opportunity in the commercial real estate world. TJ, thank you for joining us today. And needless to say, the last 13 months of the commercial real estate world have been interesting. Tell us how you think 2021 will play out.
Thanks, Mike. Before I talk about 2021, let's just recap real quick 2020. Back in March, the pandemic was declared, and at that time we thought there was a lot of uncertainty in the real estate market, and we thought things might be dropping pretty quickly. But the government put a substantial amount of money back into the economy. And what we've in fact seen is that many real estate sectors have grown dramatically and been very, very healthy over this period of time. We haven't seen more foreclosures, we haven't seen more short sales. So fast forward to today and the future, the government continues to put stimulus in the economy. I don't think there's going to be any shortage of that, as well as there's still limited supply of residential property in the economy. And so most of the commercial property types I think are going to continue to stay at least stable and if not even strengthen. You know, there's some dynamics with people moving out of cities and all of that, but the bottom line is that there's simply not enough supply of units for people to live in. Of course, industrial properties have been very strong over the past many years, and throughout this pandemic period, they've strengthened even more, and I don't see how that's going to change in the future. It's going to continue to strengthen with industrial properties. People talk a little bit about office, and there's a lot of speculation. I think that the jury is still out on office, and there'll be a lot of creativity, I think, in the market. But overall, I feel very confident about the commercial real estate market in the next year.
If an investor wants to move from buying residential property to buying commercial property, what are key things they should consider?
You know, with commercial, you end up competing with a lot bigger players. So the most important thing in commercial is to make sure that you've got a good source of capital. And then the second most important thing is focusing on value add properties. To get into the market, focusing on value add properties will allow investors to find deals that are maybe a little too complicated for large institutions or maybe a little too small for large institutions. And they will be able to, get larger margins on those. And then with those larger margins, the bigger margins, they have an opportunity to raise different types of capital. So large institutions typically have very cheap capital. Most of our investors are not large institutions, so they're either raising capital from friends and family, or they're raising private money, or they've got their own cash, or they have properties that they've been able to pull cash out of. So what's important is that trying to find the best source of capital to match the deal, and that making sure that the deal has enough upside to compensate for that capital.
When venturing into commercial real estate, should investors use brokers?
Yes, especially when you're just getting into commercial real estate. As I just mentioned, getting capital is really very important. And I've even personally used commercial brokers on some of my deals. A commercial broker can really add a lot of value because they can look at what you're trying to do, and they can look at your financial situation, and they can understand which lenders are going to work with you, and also how to package up your proposal so that it's something that a lender is going to look at. The other thing is that with smaller investors, we typically don't have staffs of people to just sit there and deal with lenders all day. And so that's something that the broker can do and add a tremendous amount of value doing.
For the brokers that have an existing book of clients, how could they increase their business this year and take advantage of the upward trend of commercial real estate transactions?
Well, for a broker, I think the most important thing is to have a Rolodex of reliable lenders, so that when a client comes and says, I want a loan, you can look at what that client's needs are and identify which lenders are most likely and most efficiently going to be able to move forward with that deal. And so for brokers to have closer relationships with a few lenders that offer different types of products, really important. They can move really fast, they can provide a good service to their client. For example, at NCC, we've got a program called Preferred Broker Program, which is a closer relationship partnership with key brokers. And that allows them to get access to our pricing models online and 24/7, and access to staff and all those types of things that allow them to serve their clients better. So brokers really need to have some relationships like that with lenders, and then of course a broader list of lenders to go to when their core lenders aren't able to help.
Jay, I appreciate your time. Always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Great to see you.
Thank you for joining us. We'll be bringing you more real estate updates in the next month, so be sure to stay tuned. And remember, you can get the lending you can trust with Newport Commercial Capital.